Hello, welcome to Farrell Swim Tech. My name is John Farrell. This is the live swim show on Facebook, on Team Zoot's Facebook page, where I take my 15 years of racing experience and 13 years of private coaching experience and help you get faster in the water. So over the past month or so, we have been discussing a lot of separate items of freestyle technique. Now is the time we start talking about putting everything together. Now, excuse me. Now, I've talked about in previous episodes more or less what is, what are these separate techniques? What are the mentalities? What are the ideas? But what I haven't done is talk about, I've talked a little bit about this in times, but it's how to really make everything work. So when I swim, I'm basically at the point now where I just do the technique. There's a couple things that I think about. I really think about not letting my recovery arm go way too wide. And then when I feel myself getting tired, I make sure to stiffen up that hand and the arm so the arm goes in the right position. That's usually about it. I don't think about breathing. I don't really think about kicking, and it's more of like, yes, I have a certain cadence that I like to keep, and then if I want to go faster, I up the cadence. If I'm sprinting, I just move everything as fast as humanly possible. So the overall idea that we wanted to go for is we want to make aspects of our stroke second nature. We don't want to think about certain parts of our stroke, so we can only really focus our energies on one or two key areas. The problem with a lot of swimmers is that you're introduced to this whole concept to where you have multiple items that you're looking at. You have multiple. You know what? I just realized this trash can. That is an eyesore. That is a that trash can is a really big eyesore. And we're gonna. I'm sorry. I was looking at my my camera, my webcam on the monitor. I was like, nope, that looks like crap. Just like most of the things in my garage, but it's okay. Where was I? Sorry, squirrel moment. Basically, we want to automate as many things as possible, and the key points that we want to automate is number one, kick, number two, breathing. Okay, we don't want to worry about our breathing technique. We don't want to worry about. Man, I'm sorry. I'm bad this morning with yawns. We want to automate our kick. The kicking automation is kicking and lower body positioning is that 100% is the thing that we want to nail down first. We don't want to be worrying about how our legs are. So what we're going to do is we're just going to kind of watch. This is my normal This is about a 115 per 100 pace. So the only thing you're going to notice is my kick is just a little bit wide. But my butt's right at the surface. My feet are right at the surface with the kick. My arms are just, you see my left arm is pulling wide. That's one of my biggest problems that I do is that my arms pull super wide. And that's just a big old laziness thing. But what you're seeing here is the kick is in sync with the arms. And that, in my opinion, is once you have a decent kick, that's the number one thing you're going to want to start working on. Is you're going to want to start working on normalizing your kick to where it is able to be in sync with your arms. So you truly have a beat kick. You have a constant number of kicks per pull. This, to me, is one of the biggest hurdles because you're trying to provide locomotion with both your arms and your legs. And for those of us that don't have this mental capability, it's not mental capability. What's a better term for this? Have this experience to where you've been practicing it over and over and over again. This is literally like trying to run on all fours. You're trying to run with your arms and your legs. And it takes a fair amount of mental training along with physical training in order to be able to pull this off. So I've been thinking about what's the best way to try and teach this. What would be, because I've told people about 4-beat kick before. There's some that swear by it. There's some that don't. I personally think 4-beat kick is the way to go. That's my personal opinion. So how do we teach how to get the legs in line with the arms? Okay. That's going to be the biggest problem. Because like I said, doing stuff with your arms and your legs at the same time can be very difficult. So how do we do it? Okay. So what we're going to do is we're going to pause this. And so we need to come up with some mental exercises in order to visualize it on land, and then work in the water. Work in how do we do it with the water. Now you're gonna have to excuse me at least this week. I was cleaning my shower yesterday, and my son had a broken toy car axle that completely impaled the bottom of the ball of my foot. Yeah, my foot's loving me right now. I did antibiotics on it last night. I had it nice and well wrapped up. I cleaned it off. So, yeah. So, at least the initial first aid was taken care of last night. If it really keeps hurting after a day or two, I'm going to need to go see a specialist, which, especially when my wife's telling me we got to save money. This is just great. Wonderful. I love it. Okay. So what do we do? So what we want to do is we want to do some visualization exercises on land. And this is more kind of a rhythm training exercise, because swimming is a rhythm-based sport. As much as we want to say it's a strength-based sport, it's actually a rhythm-based sport, because we want the legs to set the rhythm of the stroke, and then we want the arms to hit specific beats. Okay? That's basically it. Your legs are the drums, drum, 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 drum. And then your arms are like the Vikings with the rowing. Row, 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 row. So it's going to be, so what we're going to do is we're going to move our legs. So I got my leggy legs right here, and we're going to tap them on the ground. All right? Okay? So what we're gonna do is we're devising rhythm exercises. We're gonna actually tilt this camera down so you can kind of see what I'm doing here. So we're gonna be tapping our feet. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4. You see how hard this is? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so you see what we're doing here is we're tapping our feet. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So if you're doing a 2-beat kick, it's or I think it's more. I think this is a 2-beat kick. I'm not very good at it. And then a 4-beat kick is. So you see, if you slow the legs down, the arms have to slow down. So here is faster. So you see when the legs move faster, the arms have to move faster. Okay? So now this would be a 6-speed kick. One, two, three, four, five, six. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so you get the idea now. So what we've just done. So what we've just done is develop a rhythm exercise to where we can be moving the legs and then tapping our hands on our legs in the rhythm. So then the idea now is we're going to translate that into the water. So then let's just kind of watch that, watch the arms plus the legs. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. All right. So does this make sense? So what we're doing is we're training our body to be able to move the legs and the arms at the same time. And we're going to allow our legs to become the drivers of the rhythm. So then we'll be able to take that kick, steady the kick, and basically forget about it. Because once you really start getting into freestyle, and especially if you're doing because in short course, so this is a short course pool, 25 yards. When you're doing a short course, it is something that's, it's something that's just, okay, well, I'm just, I swim a couple strokes, flip turn, swim a couple strokes, flip turn. On average here, like we can even count how many strokes I'm taking here. So this is about average. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Okay. 15 strokes, anywhere between 14 and 16 strokes when I'm at a very cruising pace. That's about average for me. I can push it down to about 12 if I take a couple more dolphin kicks underwater off the push. But in reality, I'm allowing my kick to be the driver. So here's my fast. So this is sprint. So this is sub-minute per 100 pace. So you see that the arms are moving much faster. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. Yeah, my kick discipline has gotten really bad over the years. So, but you still see there's 4 kicks per arm cycle. The kicks have just gotten faster. So I've decided in my mind, in this one, I want to go faster. What do I do to go faster? I move my legs faster. My arms adjust to the legs. So this continues even when sprinting. This allows you to only control one aspect of the speed, where I'm telling my legs are going to kick faster. Well, what cascades down beyond that? Well, my arms are going to match the speed of the legs. So all I got to do is just move the arms faster, so then they keep in rhythm with the legs. So what do we do in order to start learning how to do this? Because most people that I work with, they have either a completely discombobulated stroke where they kind of, they don't adhere to any standard kicking rhythms at all. And it's just kind of, they just move the legs and then they just move the arms and they just do that. So what do we... Oh, but then another trap that I see a lot of people fall into is it's real easy to do, and this is everyone that I work with. Most everyone that I work with regards to stroke technique is that it's real easy to do the technique when you're going slow. And then once you start sprinting, all of it goes out the window. It all gets thrown down the crapper, and most of that is just because our brains are not ready. Our brains are not formed with what we're doing in order to make it go much faster. It's very easy to do a lot of things very slow, but it's very hard to do that same task really, really, really fast. That's why, we're fascinated with people. Someone that can flip a whole line of burgers in about a half a second, just pa 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 pa. People that are very, they've done an activity enough to where they can just do it with their eyes closed and insanely fast. That's kind of what we're attempting to do here with swimming. We're attempting to take something that involves a lot of different lanes of processing. You got to think of this as a huge, gigantic multitask, okay? And this is driving most athletes' multitasking to the limit, because you got to worry about legs, breathing. And some of you may be like, oh, well, you got to do all this stuff on the bike and the run anyway. Not near as much, I purport. And also on top of that, you've thrown yourself in a medium where you can't breathe it. You cannot stick your face in the water in one position and breathe. You have to completely alter the entire way you're doing something. Sorry, I got a crick in the back of my neck. You got to completely alter the way you're doing something in order to be able to take that necessary breath. Your entire stroke is thrown out of it's thrown out of alignment in order to take that breath. So what do? So, like I say, first thing, what we're going to do is we're going to swap over to slow. So this is between 130 and 140 per 100. That's about what this pace is. So I'm starting here at the wall, and what we're going to do is we're actually going to slow this down. So then I am going to give you kind of a play-by-play of what's going through my head when I'm swimming. Okay, now obviously this is going to be about as slow as you're going to see me swim. And I've also sped down to 33% speed. So this is going to be very, very, very slow. And this allows me to be able to commentate. This allows me to be able to commentate on what's going on here. Okay, so, all right. So I'm getting ready. Coach says go. I'm getting underneath the water and pushing off in a streamline. When I'm streamlining, I am pretending I am pushing off into the sky. Couple dolphin kicks, separate the arms and get the legs moving. When I separate those arms, that's when the legs immediately start kicking. When I'm swimming, I am reaching all the way up. I'm reaching all the way up and pushing all the way down. So the kick, I'm not even thinking about the kick right now. The kick is just moving. I've told the kick, okay, I want to hold this speed, so the kick is going to go super duper duper slow. So every single time that I'm taking a breath, I am making sure that I'm preparing that rotation. So when I reach down, when I reach up, I'm reaching up in order to get that body onto the side, hook that hand underneath the body in order to make the, I totally botched this turn. This is not a good turn at all. I barely get my toes on the wall. So, yeah, not a really good underwater stream on this one. But basically, I'm working on reaching all the way up and keeping my spine in alignment so I'm not overreaching. I'm reaching on the side of the body, not down the center line of the body. So I'm about 6 inches to the side. So, oh, man. I tell you what, I don't know what it is, but like the past couple of weeks have been really, really, really hard for me to wake up in the mornings. It has been rough. It has been to the point where I'm almost exclusively working out in the afternoons now. It's just, I don't know what it is. It's just been rough. But being able to reach and keep that leg going, yeah, it kind of looks like I'm actually overextending on that breath a little bit. But yeah, so that's essentially my thought process when I'm in the water and I'm swimming. So just overall, it's really important to make sure. Oh, yeah, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. Today's been bad. Today's been bad with the yawns. I do profusely apologize. But it's important to take everything and put it all together nice and slow. So what is the roadmap? The roadmap that I recommend, you know what we're going to do? I'm going to bring up a text document. So this is going to be kind of my my recommendations on how to move, how to take everything that you've learned so far and we'll go about 26. Okay. And how to go forward, okay? So number 1, kicking. You got to get your kicking to where kicking So you want to get kicking to the point where you simply don't think about it anymore. Okay? You gotta work on making the kick just to where you're moving the legs and they're doing what they need to do. So how do you do this? Dry land. Dry land is going to be the easiest way to get your kicking to where you don't think about it anymore. So you have to have a good kick in order to get the body positioning. How do you do that? Streamline kicking in the pool without a kickboard. That's the way you're going to want to do it. You're going to want to spend a lot of time doing streamline kicking. And the big key here is stretch to the sky. You want to envision when you're streamline kicking that you are stretching to the sky and then practice on dry land with a mirror. That is going to be the easiest way to learn how to streamline. Is looking at a mirror, checking your spine, making sure you're actually reaching straight up, not backwards. Reaching backwards is going to be one of the most common mistakes that people do. So you want to make sure that you're reaching simply straight up into the sky. All right? So now we got kicking, then we got body positioning, and then the next thing we want to do is streamline kicking in pool. Single arm stroke drills. So what we're doing is we're learning how to keep our body positioning with the kick, and we're going to add in one arm at a time. Because what happens is we try and overload ourselves. And that's the biggest problem with learning stroke technique, is that people tend to really overload their mental capacities to process, understand, and replicate. You got to understand, those are the 3 major aspects of stroke technique, is being able to hear someone like me explain what the technique is. Your brain needs to process that technique, and then it needs to be able to replicate it. So you need to get your brain to communicate with your body and say, okay, this is what Coach John wants me to do. I understand it from a mental standpoint. Now, to get all the proper neurons fired and all the proper neuron receptors within our bodies, in order for my brain to command my body to do the right thing. So, the problem is when people try and throw everything together all at once, you can't do it. It's not possible. You're going to more than likely fail unless you're like a crazy all-star acrobatic gymnast and you're able to, really manipulate yourself in water. Okay? Because that's the number one thing we have to understand. We're still dealing with water. We're dealing with a medium that we do not fully comprehend. Okay? Water is something that our bodies are not used to being submerged in. We're just not. So we need to take that into account and be okay with ourselves with this. We need to give ourselves a grace period. We need to understand we need to take things slow. And quite honestly, for a lot of you, especially if you're 2 minutes or over, you're going to want to break everything back down. You're going to want to take time to really just go through. You want to go through and really just take this one step at a time. You got to take this one step at a time. Quite frankly, like I keep saying, muscling yourself through the water at 2 minutes or slower per 100, you're not necessarily doing yourself a ton of favors. You're not. You're not. You're going to go really slow. You're not going to get a lot of yards in. You're going to get frustrated. I am telling you, if you want to do the stroke technique right, either number one, shell out about $500 for $500+ for Tri-Dots Pool School. Tri-Dots Pool School, that is a fantastic method. They have a good partnership with Team Zoot. You can get a decent discount with them. I know that they're working on free pool school vouchers for the captains. I really don't know. I don't know what the process is with that. But if you can get yourself one of those, that is going to be a golden ticket to learning stroke technique. They have a really good method and it is a huge in-person crash course with very competent coaches. I've seen how they work at the pool school myself, and they're doing a good job. They're doing a good job. I highly recommend it. Very expensive, though. That's the thing. It is very pricey. But if you're willing, if you're that invested in triathlon and you're just like, what do I do? How do I even get the stupid swim good? Consider investing in that. And I don't make a ton of recommendations. I don't make a ton of swim school recommendations because I want you to work with me. But you got to call a spade a spade. They have a good program. It works. And basically, you can easily cut off 10 to 15 seconds very easily if you're a high tier. Or if you're a low tier swimmer, you can easily cut 10 to 15 seconds in 100 within a weekend. It's easy because you are getting drilled on the right technique. And not only that, they have a wonderful set of videos that you can watch. And yeah, it's just really, 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 an easy way to learn the stroke technique. But it's very pricey. And unfortunately, I personally do not have an affiliate code. I was in negotiations with them to become a coach. The only problem is I realize I can't just take weekends away from my family. I can't do that. It just won't work. Maybe later in life, I'll do the pool, when my kids are older, maybe I'll start picking up the Tri-Dot Pool School coaching. I really easily, it is my goal to be able to run the Tri-Dot Pool Schools. I know that I can do it. I know that I have the wherewithal to be able to explain it. I just don't have the time. That's my biggest problem. But basically, if you don't have the money to shell out for pool school, this is going to be the way you're going to want to do it. You're going to want to break everything down. item by item and really take some time to work with it. Honestly, if you do a workout and you do about a 200 swim and then you do like 300 yards of kicking, just streamline kicking with a snorkel, I guarantee you do about 4 of those workouts, you're going to be really sick of kicking, but your kicking is going to vastly improve. If you do the dry land plus streamline kicking, your kick is going to improve. So then what do you do with the body positioning? Well, you're working on the kicking and the body positioning at the same time. And honestly, a lot of times, a great way to do kicking kick while holding the pool wall. Just hold the pool wall, float your legs, and just kick. Learn how to actually drive some force to where you're being shoved into the wall and you have to hold your hands, with a decent amount of stiffness so that your arms don't cave and you bash your face in the wall. Start to learn how to generate kick. And quite honestly, a lot of times what I do, something I do with all the sprinters that I work with, is that I have them hold the wall and I have them kick. And then I progressively say, faster, faster, faster. And then I force them to kick faster. And 90% of the time, I'll get the kid to kick way faster than he's ever considered kicking. And I'm just like, okay, what you want to do now is swim a 25 with those legs. And let's see what happens. Because a lot of times, swimming is experimenting. Okay, we got to experiment. We got to try different things. You can't just be in a rut. If you get in a rut, you're going to stagnate real quick and you're not going to see any gains. So it's always worth it to spend some time and experiment. Try different things. Okay, well, what happens, and this is the story that I tell almost every year. The time that I figured out how to be a better distance swimmer, I took a massive risk. This was at Belmont Plaza in my freshman. It was either my freshman or sophomore year of high school. I was in the 500 freestyle at Junior Olympics. This is AAA time standards or higher, and I was really, I was like 60th or something like that. I was really, really low in the pecking order for this particular race. And I got up to the blocks and I'm like, and I'm thinking to myself, you know what I'm going to do? I'm just going to try something. I'm going to try something here. I'm just going to take this thing out as hard as I can. And I'm going to hold on for dear life. I'm just going to go out really fast and we're going to see what happens. Well, what happened was my 200 split was actually faster than the 200 freestyle time I entered. And then I almost completely blacked out at the 400 while swimming. I completely forgot what I was doing. The lactic acid completely took over my system. And I almost passed out in the pool and sunk to the bottom of the pool. Yeah, not recommended. Don't do it, please. Don't pass out in a pool and sink. Not good. But literally, I distinctly remember, what am I doing? Oh, I'm swimming. There's a wall. Flip turn. Yeah, that was from the 400 to 425 yard length of the pool. Yeah, I got out. I felt like complete garbage. It was the most absolutely drained, fatigued I had ever felt in my life. My coach comes up to me. I go, Coach, I'm not swimming that event again. I'm done today. I'm going home. And he goes, well, just hold on, son. That was an amazing time. You swam faster than your 200 freestyle time you're swimming tomorrow. Why do you do this to me? He was actually pissed. It was really funny. But I was so hating everything. I hated life. I hated everything. My body hurt so dang bad. Everything was just in utter pain. So then I realized I went from like 63rd all the way to like 22nd place. Like I jumped 40 places with that swim. And here's the craziest part of that. I double checked, it was like the day later, and they had so on Swim Eats they have all these papers on the wall. So it's they usually have the results. So I actually checked, and they show the touchpad splits on the results. And I double checked where I was at the 200. I was the third fastest 200 split of prelims. And that was behind Aaron Pearsall, who's my age, by the way. And he, at one point, held every single backstroke world record in every distance, in every part. And Michael Kavik, where he's the guy that almost out-touched Michael Phelps in the Greece Olympics, okay? In the Athens Olympics. Yeah, those two guys were guys I swam with on a continual basis. Another fun fact, the only reason I won CIF my senior year in the 100 backstroke was because Michael Kavik's school got punked from Division 2 to Division 3. That's the only reason I won. So yes, when I say, when I told people I was not going to the Olympics, I knew I wasn't going to the Olympics because I swam against those guys, and I knew how far I needed to go in order to be with those guys. And I wasn't getting that much faster, okay? I wasn't getting that much faster. I dropped about 2 seconds from college, from high school to senior year of high school to senior year of college. I went a 52.2 in the 100 back in high school, and I went about a 50.2 in college. Yeah, no, I wasn't going to get that much faster. No. I needed to be at least a 47 in order to be in the running to be in the Olympics. I think it takes about a 4,600 in the yards in order to make the Olympics. And I wasn't doing that. No, I wasn't going to drop 4 whole seconds in the 100 backstroke. Wasn't happening. So anyway, back to experimenting. That's why I went on that whole tangent. So sometimes you just got to try different things. But when it comes to putting together all of this stuff at the same time, you're going to do you're going to do single arm strokes, and you're going to really work on breathing. And when you're doing this, you're going to want to keep one hand streamlined and one hand moving. So you don't want the arm at your side. You want the arm that's not doing anything up in front of you. So then you're going to take your right arm, and then you're going to be swimming that way. So yeah, okay. So you're going to do the kicking until you don't think about it anymore. I highly recommend doing a bunch of practices with a heavy amount of kicking. And I kind of don't recommend, I don't recommend fins when you're doing the kicking, portion of this. When you're doing the body positioning, I highly recommend you don't use fins with it. However, if you're doing something specifically for body positioning, it's okay to use the fins. Only a little bit, just to kind of get the feel. So there's kind of two competing ideas here. There's one idea of getting the feel of what it's supposed to feel like, and then doing the mechanics in order to actually do the mechanics and do the thing without any aids. Kicking, it's kind of like, I don't want you to use fins with kicking, because we need to learn how to kick with straight legs, and it's really easy to cheat with fins. That's kind of the thing. So then when you're doing body positioning, it's a lot easier to work on this with fins, in order to start kind of understanding what it's like, what the feeling is like to have your body on top of the water. With fins, you can get away with much smaller leg motions, so you don't have to kick with huge legs. You can go really, really, really small kicks. And then the other thing with kicking is straight legs, no knee bend. The knee bend is one of the biggest killers of kicking that I have seen on average. Just because that knee will destroy your stiffness. So, straight legs, kick while holding the wall, kick with straight legs while holding the wall, kick with straight legs on dry land. Just learn how to stiffen those legs and get everything working as one leg. You don't want it segmented at the knee. You want one whole leg moving up and down continuously. So then with body positioning, we want to be able to start adding in the arms and the breath. So we want to add the arms in one arm at a time, and then we want to be able to do this with breathing. Notice here how I'm not talking about pulling technique, okay? We're not throwing the pulling technique into the mix until our body positioning is in a much better area, okay? So here's the two things that affect body position. Number one, your lower back. Number two, propulsion, okay? Just like if I have a flimsy piece of paper right here, okay? Here, let me go full camera, okay? I have a flimsy piece of paper right here. If I move it very slow, it's going to stay down. If I move it faster, you see it lifts up, okay? The air pressure on the receipt, which, by the way, this is a receipt for a pre-order Xenoblade Chronicles X, which is going to be a fantastic game. Pre-order now. I wish I had an affiliate link in the description below so that I could earn a little bit of money telling you how fantastic of a game that's going to be. I'm a big-time gamer, okay? I like playing video games, so, yeah. You're gonna hear it every once in a while, and that's basically what my night stream is all about. So we also need to work on adding propulsion into the overall stream of things. But if we have a massive lower back problem, so then what our main focus on this is going to be, so we're fixing lower back issues. So that's the big key here. The having better arms is going to help you. This is going to help you with adding more propulsion. That's going to help float the body up better. Okay? All right. So then after we work on these things, now you're probably saying, okay, do I really have to spend like 5 weeks kicking? Not necessarily, okay? What you really want to do is you want to go to workout with the mentality not of, oh, I need to get 500 yards in. What you need to say is, I need to get 500 yards of kicking in, of kick technique work in. Because, like I said, it does you no good to just slog through 1,000 yards. It does you no good. Now, there's some people that say, well, zone two. You can throw the zones out the window with swimming. I spoke with a local guy who's a coach, and who's also a member of Teen Zoot. I'm totally blanking on your name. I do profusely apologize if you're watching this. But he basically said a lot of us swimmers, we're so used to having about a third of your body weight is actively supported by water. Because of this, we're cutting gravity in a third. We're cutting the overall stress of life that our body experiences by about 1/3. And because of this, we need to go back to analysis. And because of this, what's happening is we can get away with doing a lot more cardiovascularly in the water just because we got two things. Number one, the water acts as a heat sink. So you're going to have a lot less overall stress on your body because your body's not heating up nearly as much. Now, okay, before I start going into this, this is my own observations and my own interpretations of how all of this work. This is not scientific, okay? I'm using basic principles of physics in order to be able to explain this. I'm not a kinesiologist. I just told you, I'm a civil engineer, okay? I'm a structural engineer. I play with concrete, steel, and wood, okay? Mostly concrete and steel, like almost all concrete and steel. I don't really design wood anymore. But I can if necessary. But what we're really looking at here is we're looking at a way, of trying to dispel some of these ideas and helping you actually do more than what you think is possible. So with kicking, okay, well, hold on. We need a pre-step here. I just realized. Be comfortable in water, please. Okay? That more than anything else, if you find yourself panic breathing a lot, if you have recently been to an open water swim event and you feel real panic in the water, and if you cannot push off underneath the water surface, okay? We need to spend some time being comfortable in water. And legitimately, learn to sit in the bottom of the pool. I know this sounds childish and stupid, but hey, so is high school. What we want to do is we want to be able to find ourselves pushing air out of our lungs, decreasing the ballast within our bodies, and being able to actually sink down to the bottom of the pool. One of the easiest delineations between someone that knows what they're doing in the pool and someone that absolutely doesn't is if they push off underneath the water surface and they're able to do a decent streamline. Have some fun with this one. I keep harping on this, but I am not kidding you. If you can find yourself sitting at the bottom of the pool, literally just sit down, Indian style, down on your butt, whatever. I mean, and what's funny is when I do my swim technique lessons, I actually will be laying down on the bottom of the pool watching the swimmer go by. I'm down at the 3'6" mark. I go down to the 7-foot mark, and I just stand at the bottom of the pool and just watch the swimmer go right over me, down at the 7-foot mark. It's a really, really useful thing to have. And I remember there was a kid, he was probably like 10 or something, comes to me. How do you do that? I don't know. It's like, dude, you just push the water out and you go underwater and like I know if I push a certain amount, I can go down. And if I feel myself floating, boop, you just blow out one big bubble and then boop, I feel myself sink down again. So a lot of this is just being comfortable in the water. What this is going to do is this is going to decrease your panic response when you get in the water. This is going to slow your heart rate down overall to where you're in a position to where I'm not afraid of this water anymore. I'm in a pool. I have nothing to be afraid of. I'm at 3'6" of water. I have zero fears. I'm okay. I know that if something goes wrong, I can stand up. I'm going to be okay. And relaxing the mentality is going to bring your heart rate down. That's going to bring your stress levels down a lot. It's going to allow you to do a lot more in the pool. Okay, so now we're going to move on to number 4, which is arm pulling power. Pull buoys and snorkels, okay? When you are now onto the point to where you're working on pulling, pull buoys and snorkel, just throw those on and pull. Keep your face down. Work on getting that hand in, elbow out. Hand in, elbow out. You want to work on that. So you want to work on... Hold on. Hand in, elbow out. Here we're gonna get rid of those page breaks. So we're gonna do hand in, elbow out, and then fluid movement. We want that pull to be a circle. We don't want it to have a start and an end. We want to have it have a top and a bottom. Top, bottom. Top, bottom. Okay? So reach up, push a brick down, and then so we're going to do windmills on dry land, and then we're going to do reach up, push a brick down. Okay? That is how you're going to really work on these things. Okay? It is going to be in your best interest to spend at least a month of only pulling. It's going to be in your best interest just to do a month of pulling. Throw a pull buoy on, throw 2 pull buoys on. You want those legs at the water surface, okay? And then what you're going to do is you're really going to focus on that hand in, elbow out. Hand in, elbow out. If you get that hand somewhere underneath your body and you're bending the elbow, you're in the right position. Flex. So hand in, elbow out, and then flex the bicep and the tricep. This allows that arm to get in that 90-degree position. That is going to be the easiest way for you to get that arm correct. So the whole overall with pulling, my recommendations on pulling is spend a lot of time pulling. Spend a lot of time pulling. Why? Pulling is 90% of your power generation, especially for triathletes. It's over 90%. It's over 95%. Your legs are not doing much, especially if you are slower than 130 per 100. I can guarantee you your kick is only maybe 1% of your speed. And there's a lot of you where the kick is actually a negative impact on your speed. You're actually moving yourself backwards rather than forwards. If you're swimming slower than 2 minutes per 100, I can almost guarantee you your kick is hindering you. It is actively making you slower. And you know what? That's just what it's doing. That's just a simple observation. And I've had video of guys where they kick and they go, they go just a little bit backwards. Oh, hooray. My new headphones are coming today. So anyway, we're going to do, next week is going to be a review of the H2O audio headphones. So, get hyped. I'm going to have the, Try 2 Pro and the Sonar. I'm going to have both of those, and I'm going to do a full review on both of those next week for the stream. And then I'm going to put together a full, actual review video on these things. Just because I don't like a lot of the review videos that I've seen. Let's be honest here. I don't like a lot of them. And there's not a lot of these people that take them that can go a sub-minute per 100. Yeah, we're going to put these things through the paces. We're going to really see what this audio quality is like. Okay. Sorry, I've got a bunch of gunk in my eyes. So you're going to want to spend a lot of time with pulling, and when you're really, pulling's kind of one of those things where if you want it to be the whole workout. If you really want to get your arms stronger, just pull. Don't necessarily worry about the kick, because you kind of have 2 separate lanes here. You have the decreased drag lane, and then you have the increased acceleration lane. So decreasing drag and increasing acceleration are going to be insanely hard to do together because you have far too many mechanical things to worry about in each lane. The decreased drag, that is almost all exclusively lower body. And if you're trying to, and the increase your acceleration, a lot of that has to do with hyper focusing on the pull mechanics. Your brain can't handle that many different, completely separate lines of thinking. It just can't. Now, some of you think, oh, I can do it. I can do it 9 times. I'm like, no, just don't. You're gonna set yourself up for a lot of frustration. Trust me, because remember, we are in water, okay? Everything you think you can do on land, you're not going to be able to do it in the water. I guarantee it. Don't worry about it. Focus on the pull. Focus on the lower body. Focus on keeping one lane at a time. So now you're asking, when do these lanes merge? When am I going to be able to start focusing, doing like actual, technique drills that involve both the upper body and the lower body? You don't. Technique drills are all focused on one specific action. They're focused on one specific small part of your stroke. And 90% of the time, everything gets blown up. You blow all the other parts of your stroke up in order to focus on that one small part of your stroke. So what you're going to do, this is my recommendation. I'm going to have to wrap things up here. So what do I do? So what's the, I'm watching this stream. I'm looking at this list. I'm freaking out. This is a lot of things on a list. So how do you break this down? Number one, every single workout you do, spend time during warm-up sitting at the bottom of the pool. Either do this during warm-up or during warm-down. You want to spend time every single practice being used to being underwater, being comfortable being underwater, okay? Even if you're at the deep end and you're just treading water, or what you do is you put your hands up above your head, get yourself in a pencil dive, go all the way down to the 12 foot of the deep end, and then push off the bottom back up to the surface. Do it with the 7 foot. Do it with the 5 foot. Get used to just going underwater. Do that every single practice. Next, you're gonna want to focus your workouts around one major aspect of these 3: kicking, body positioning, or arm pulling. You want to work on one of those 3 specifically during your workouts. Now, this is another plug for my my private coaching service that I am trying to offer. I've had one person show interest, but then they backed out. So I got 2 slots that I'm looking to. If you want me to help you with this method and actually give you the workouts to do, feralswimtech@gmail.com. Also, any inquiries about anything that I've talked about, anything, please hit me up, feralswimtech@gmail.com. I'm just a regular guy on Team Zoot. I'm not pro. I'm not. I get a couple freebies to do this, to take my time and explain these things to you. I get a couple freebies from Zoot, but I am far from being sponsored. I'm not being paid to do this. I use this as a platform to market my services. My 2 services are private coaching. It's brand new, offered this year, and my virtual stroke analysis that I've been doing for years. You take video, you send it to me, I set stuff up. I have 2 brand new videos that I just did this week. I think one's a German, another one is a Polish gal. So if you check out my YouTube, my hand doesn't work over here. YouTube, Feral Swim Tech, on YouTube, you can check out both of those. So you can see kind of how I do it. So I review your video. I give you 3 major aspects to work on, and I totally break it down. Training ideas, drill ideas, how to really work on that. So if you're going to do it yourself, so you're going to want to do kicking, body positioning, or arm pulling power. You're going to want to work on one of those 3 things for your entire workout. You just want to work on that. Like I said before, this is like, even if you have a hard leg day, you can still work on your kicking. You can still work on it, because you're not going fast. We're not working on kicking power. We're working on kicking technique. You can do kicking technique and not kick very fast. Basically, we just want that kick to be at the top of the water. That's all you're focusing on. That's it. That's all you're focusing on. Kicking with your legs on top of the water. And then with the body positioning, you're going to do streamline for a couple hundred. And then you're going to add in, I'm sorry, I realized I left the door open. It's getting a little bit chilly in here, so I'm kind of shivering and squirming in my seat. So what you want to do with the body positioning is you want to do streamline kicking, and then you're going to add in those single arm strokes. Just do single arm. Don't focus on both arms at the same time. You don't need to do this just yet. And then when it comes to arm pulling power, just focus on really working those arms. Really working those arms. Start to put pressure on those arms. Get some stiffness in those arms. Make those arms work. Make those arms hurt. Make them sore. Make them push stuff. There's just so much strength that you can build just by swimming. And then, at a certain point, you're going to want to add in some arm weights. But basically, you can do a lot with just swimming. So you're going to want to do this for at least a couple months. And honestly, it wouldn't kill you. And every workout, do like a fast 100. Do like a fast 100, a fast, maybe even a fast 200. And the big thing, too, is learn to do touch and go turns. Don't hang on the wall for a long time. Touch, turn, go. Just touch, turn, go. Touch, turn, go. Touch, turn, go. Or learn to do flip turns. So that's going to be how to put everything together and really how to start tackling each of these issues and being able to work on them in a method that's not going to drive you absolutely insane. Next week, we're going to go back into freestyle technique, and we're going to talk about body rotation. No, I'm sorry. I got distracted. Next week is going to be the H2O audio review. I'm going to get some video taken, and we're going to talk about it. Hopefully, my right foot isn't going to hate me whenever I push off the wall. So that's gonna be the topic for next week's H2O audio review, and then the week after we are going to be doing body rotation. So that's gonna be the next 2 weeks. So hope to see you then. Thank you all so much for tuning in. I hope this really helps you learn how to put everything together. I will be, I am at your service, feralswimtech@gmail.com. Check me out on Instagram, feralswimtech on Instagram, YouTube, and Rumble. So check out my videos there. Always email me if there's any other issues. So, once again, I do profusely apologize. I've had someone ask me why Zoot threw me on at 5:15 in the morning. This is the only time I can consistently get out here and do it. Unfortunately, the past couple of weeks have just been rough for me, and I don't know why. So anyway, hope to see you later. Keep swimming, keep training. feralswimtech@gmail.com. Any and all questions. So hope to see you later on the next stream. So until then, good night, Isaiah Norris. Whoever you are, I'm out of here. Goodbye, everyone. Goodbye.